All right, let's create the definitive guide to one of Kyoto's most iconic summer traditions, Kawayuka dining. That magical experience of eating on a platform right over a river. But as you're about to see, getting a seat is a lot harder than you might think. This explainer is going to give you the actual strategy you need. So at its heart, Kawayuka is this amazing, centuries-old solution for escaping Kyoto's incredibly intense summer heat. It's really a beautiful piece of cultural ingenuity. For just a few months, restaurants build these temporary platforms that hover right over the Kamo River, basically creating their own natural air conditioner. And that 6-degree drop, well, that's the magic right there. That's the average temperature difference between the hot city street and the cool platform, all thanks to the air rising from the river. I mean, when Kyoto is a sweltering 35 degrees Celsius, believe me, this makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so here's how we've structured this guide for you. First, we have to talk about the reality of the demand. Then we'll dive into a real strategic booking guide, help you choose the right kind of experience for you. And finally, we'll get into what the picture-perfect Instagram photos don't show you. Right, let's shift from the beautiful dream to the stark reality. This experience is incredibly difficult to book. Thanks to social media, what was a local tradition is now an international bucket list item. But here's the catch. The number of seats hasn't changed at all. This is the number you're up against. Just 600. That is the rough total of all Kawayuka seats available across Pontocho, Kyoto's famous dining alley, on any given night. We're talking about maybe 40 restaurants, and each one only has about 12 to 16 seats on their platform. It's tiny. Now let's put that in perspective, because this is where it gets a little wild. Kyoto gets millions of visitors in the summer. If just 1%, a tiny fraction, of them try to book Kawayuka, you're suddenly looking at 150,000 people competing for those 600 nightly seats. This is why the idea of a walk-in is basically a myth. So, when you're facing those kinds of odds, how do you actually get a spot? The biggest mistake you can possibly make is waiting until you get to Kyoto. You absolutely need a game plan before you even pack your bags. All right, let's get into the playbook and see how you can beat those odds. There are really 3 main ways to book, and each one has a totally different success rate, cost, and level of effort involved. This chart pretty much tells the whole story at a glance. Tour operators, they give you the best chance of success, but you'll pay a premium. Your hotel concierge is a fantastic middle ground, and the booking apps, well, they require a whole lot of luck and persistence. Let's break down the strategy for each one. So here they are, the 3 main strategies. Using your hotel concierge is really the sweet spot for most people. Just give them your dates and your budget about 4 to 6 weeks out and let them work their magic. Tour operators are your guaranteed ticket if money isn't a huge concern. And if you're the do-it-yourself type, get ready to hit that refresh button on the booking apps the second reservations open. And here is the secret to why the concierge works so well. They are not just going online and booking like you are. They have established personal relationships with these restaurants. The restaurants give them access to seats that look totally booked to the public because, frankly, hotels guarantee their guests will actually show up. And that's a huge deal for these small businesses. Okay, so now that you know how to book, let's figure out what to book. Because you want to get the most value for your money, right? And trust me, not all Kawayuka experiences are created equal, and the price differences can be massive. For most of us, the decision really boils down to this trade-off. The budget options, yeah, they get you out on the platform, but you might feel really rushed and packed in like sardines. The mid-range, though, that offers a much more balanced, authentic evening where you can actually kick back and savor the unique atmosphere. Let's look at the details here. That budget tier often comes with really strict time limits and cramped seating. The premium tier is amazing, but it's really for serious foodies. For most people, that mid-range option is the undeniable sweet spot. You get comfortable seating, no time limits, it just strikes the perfect balance. And listen, timing is everything. Don't just assume summer is automatically the best. June is the rainy season, and July and August could be incredibly humid. The ideal months are actually the shoulder seasons. May has great weather with moderate crowds, and September is the secret sweet spot with lower humidity and way fewer people. All right, before you book, we need to cover the realities, the things that don't make it into those perfect social media posts. This is all about setting the right expectations so you aren't disappointed. First thing to know, these are temporary structures built on scaffolding. So when people walk around, you will feel the platform move. It's perfectly safe, of course, but it can be a little unnerving if you're not expecting it. Second, remember where you are. You are dining outdoors, over a river, in the summer. It's beautiful, but it also means that mosquitoes and moths might be your occasional dinner guests. The restaurants have citronella candles out, but it's still part of the whole outdoor experience. And third, there's the river itself. Depending on how much it's rained recently, the Kamo can sometimes have a noticeable, earthy smell. It's just a natural element that you really can't control. So with all that in mind, Kawayuka might not be the best fit for everybody. If you're a serious foodie, you might find better value somewhere else. Access often involves very steep stairs, which is a real challenge for anyone with mobility issues. And the long, formal meals aren't always great for families with young kids. So let's bring it all together. Let's help you decide if this experience is actually worth the time, the effort, and, of course, the money for your big trip to Kyoto. This is the number you should have in your head, around 15,000 yen. That's the realistic all-in cost per person for a good mid-range dinner. Remember, the menu price is just the starting point. After you add a service charge, tax, and a couple of drinks, the final bill can be almost double what you might have expected. And this brings us to the most important point of all. You have to totally reframe what you're paying for. You are not just buying a meal. You're buying a ticket to an incredible piece of immersive theater. The lantern-lit alley, the sound of the river, the cool night air. That is the main event. The food is simply the supporting act. So ultimately, now that you're armed with all this info, the true cost, the booking strategy, the on-the-ground realities, you can decide. Is this unique, challenging, and potentially magical experience the one that you want to prioritize for your time in Kyoto? The choice is all yours.